Hello, my name is Emily Rose. I'm a professional Lenormand and tarot reader, and I also teach tarot readers and the mystically minded to read Lenormand like they're talking to a friend. And today we are here with Lenormand Draws That Blew My Mind, Lost Object Edition. If you don't know what Lenormand is, I don't know how you found me, but it's this sassy to the point divination system that really tells it like it is and is very, very practical. And one of the applications that you can use Lenormand for is finding lost objects. I mean, how cool is that? How often are we running around our house looking for our keys, our passport, our social security card, whatever? And Lenormand is a shortcut to finding those things. I found hundreds of objects using Lenormand, and today I'm going to share 3 examples with you. Now, you may read Lenormand a bit differently than me, and that is totally fine and expected. We all have different relationships with our cards, and this is what makes divination so fun and personal. Inside this video, I'm going to mainly use 3 card spreads to find lost objects, and if you're wanting to know how do I read a 3 card spread, I do have a free Lenormand mini course, which you can find at emilyrosedivination.com/mini course, and here is where you'll learn how to read a 3 card spread, how to do daily draws with Lenormand. There's also a workbook and a really convenient cheat sheet inside. So if you're wanting to go deeper with Lenormand, the best place to start is with my mini course. Lastly, this is a really fun video to play along with. So if you're learning Lenormand and you want to take a stab at where these objects might be, feel free to pause me and work it out for yourself as you're watching along. In all of these instances, I did find the object, so you will get the real life answer because these were all objects that I lost in my daily life and objects that I found. I hope you enjoy, and without further ado, let's get into our first example. First example, where is that damn screw? Let me set the scene. It's the middle of winter, it's very, very cold outside, and our furnace stopped working. He was my fiance at the time, my now husband, was trying to fix the furnace, and he was missing a little teeny tiny screw that had to be in place in the furnace or else it wouldn't work. Earlier that day, we had heard my cat playing around with things on the ground in the garage, kind of, batting things back and forth, so we were really afraid that she had batted the screw into some dark crevice in the creepy garage. After searching for probably about 10-15 minutes on the ground, we soon realized that this is going to be like looking for a needle in a haystack, and so I turned to Lenormand. So here's what I drew. I drew the mice stork bouquet, and the moon just wanted to come out as well, so I let that be a part of it. If you want to play along, then this is the time to pause me and work it out, and I'll go ahead and tell you where that damn screw was. First 3 cards I worked out pretty quickly. I got the sense that the mice represented the lost object itself, since the mice can mean a loss in some way. So I took the mice to mean that. And then I took the stork to mean up high. We had been looking low to the ground, and I kind of realized, maybe it's not so low to the ground, it's up higher. And then the bouquet I took to mean bunched together with a lot of other things. So immediately I told my husband, hey, stop looking at the ground, start looking up higher. No idea what the moon meant at that time. I was like, okay, is this talking about like a flashlight? Wouldn't that be more the sun? It's kind of like a spotlight, so that reminds me of the moon. I didn't know what it was talking about at first. But we did start looking up higher, and then we saw on top of the furnace that there was a collection of a bunch of other screws, bigger screws. And I asked my husband if he had looked through that, and he said, yeah, but I didn't see anything before. It fit all the descriptions we were talking about, but what I didn't know is that at the center of where all these screws were congregating was a magnet. And then it clicked into place. Oh, the moon is magnetic. It's a magnet. We combed deeper through the little nest of screws that were there, and lo and behold, there was that teeny tiny screw in the middle of all those bigger screws. Like the bouquet had said, it was all bunched together and it was attached to a magnet, hence the moon. Able to fix the furnace, and luckily the heat turned back on. So we were highly motivated to find that screw, and thanks to Lenormand, we did. Next up, the case of the lost dongle. Such a ridiculous word, right? If you don't know what a dongle is, if you have a Mac, you probably know what it is because you need it to connect to literally anything. You need it to connect to this microphone. That's what I'm using it for right now because new Macs don't have USB drives. So you need it to connect to literally everything. I've been looking for it for quite a while, and then I just said, enough with this. I'm going to use Lenormand to find it. And here is what I drew. You're playing along at home, go ahead and pause me and you can come up with where you think that freaking dongle is. Remember, our cards are the letter, the scythe, and the book, read in the standard Lenormand way, meaning the second card modifies the first card, third card modifies the second card. Really, I knew where it was just using the first two cards. I didn't even really need the third card. So with the letters, I saw that it was likely with a bunch of papers, and with the scythe modifying the letters, I knew that these were papers that needed to be shredded or cut or something like that. I had a pile of, documents and things I needed to shred, and I hate shredding things, so I'd been putting it off naturally, so I had a pretty big pile going on. And the book told me it's underneath. It's hidden within that pile somewhere. So I just lifted the pile up, and sure enough, there was that freaking dongle. Along at home, I'd love to know where you thought it was. Did you get the same thing as me? Did you come up with something else? Let me know. This last lost object reading is my favorite one I'm going to share with you. I could not find my keys. I was running late one day. I was running around my house looking everywhere frantically. I know all of you know what I'm talking about. And it was an appointment I had to get to, and I decided enough of this frantic looking. I'm going to use Lenormand to find my frickin' keys. And here is what I drew. I drew fox, letter, and lilies. Now, I have to admit, I was totally stumped at first when I stared at this. I was just thinking, I don't know what this means. Now, what is important for you to know if you're playing along is that the way that I drew this 3-card spread was modifier, subject, modifier. So instead of reading it in the standard Lenormand way, the center card was the main thing we're talking about, and then the 2 cards on the outside modify the center card. Playing along, go ahead and pause me. And where do you think my keys were? So if you were stumped on this one, I was too at first. I had no idea what this meant. But as I stared at it a little bit longer, it started to click into place. So as I was looking at the letter, I was thinking papers, but that didn't quite feel right. And then I noticed the envelope on the card, and I realized, oh, a pocket. Once I got down that the letter card can mean a pocket, then it became really easy. The fox, I realized, was like a false or a sneaky pocket in some way. And then the lilies I saw as old. And then all of a sudden I got the feeling. The keys were in an old sneaky pocket. And the day before I had gone to the beach, I had worn my husband's jacket, and I couldn't find a pocket that had a zipper, and I didn't want to lose my keys. So I put it in like a secret pocket that was deep inside the jacket. So I realized, oh, it's in an old sneaky pocket. The jacket that I was wearing was very old, and it was in a sneaky pocket inside the jacket. So I grabbed the jacket, and lo and behold, there were the keys. Remember, if you want to learn to read Lenormand, you want to learn to read 3-card spreads like I showed you here, I do have a free mini course you can find at emilyrosedivination.com/mini course. If you played along, I would love to know what you got in the comments here. Feel free to let me know. And if you want more of these videos, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe so I know that you want more like this. Thank you all so much for watching, and happy finding lost objects. I hope that this inspired you to pull out your cards next time you lose something. See you later.